Interest rates dipped slightly as we go into the Independence Day weekend. Let's talk about that and more in this week's segment of Market Watch. Hi everyone, it's Joshua Barks here, Associate Broker with Keller Williams Realty Boise and Team Lead of the Barks & Co. Real Estate Team. Thank you for tuning in to this week's segment of Market Watch. If you're new to the channel, we talk about the Boise area housing market on a week-over-week basis, and then next week we're going to go into our deep dive. So once a month we go into that deep dive. Stay tuned next week for that because that one's going to be a good one. We cover all of June. This week, let's just keep it short because next week's going to be extra long. We have more than 1,400 available homes in Ada County right now, 1,412 homes on the market for sale, available, waiting for people to buy them. Last week we had 1,371. That's still up significantly from what we've been seeing. So it's incredible to have this amount of choices for buyers out there. The last time we've had this many available homes was in 2016, the summer of 2016. Even though we have a lot of available homes right now, we only had 203 new listings come to market this week compared to the 270 we had come to the market last week. Now, when we're talking about pending sales, we know inventory is just skyrocketing. Pending sales is staying pretty much flat. We have 557 pending homes overall compared to last week when we had 561. So that's 4 fewer this week than what we had last week for overall pending. However, we had 173 homes go pending in the last week. The 173 is up from last week when we only had 136 homes go pending. So we actually have more week over week pending, even though the pending overall decreased. Now, part of the reason for pending overall decreasing is because it's the end of the month, and at the end of the month, if you've seen these before, you know I'm probably going to say we saw an increase in the number of homes sold the last week of June. So we had 169 homes sell just this last week compared to the 138 we had the week prior. So we had an uptick in that. Even though we had more homes go pending this week than we had last week, we had pending, the delta of that stay pretty relatively flat. I'm anticipating that to continue, that trend to be continuing on as we move forward into the summer months. When we're talking about interest rates though, they did something interesting this week. They actually declined for the first time in a while. Not by a whole lot though. Last week we were at 5.8%, now we're at 5.7. So they did come down a 1/10 of a percentage point on the national average. Now that doesn't mean that your lender specifically or lenders that I'm partners with can't get you a better rate. That's just the national average because there definitely are better rates than that out there. So it's important to connect with a real estate professional and a lending partner that knows what they're doing and is able to offer, that competitive value to you. I know people as well. So if you're in that kind of beginning stages, looking to get pre-qualified, figuring out, okay, what is it actually going to take to buy a home in this market and how interest rates are going to be affecting your specific situation, reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you with one of my fantastic lending partners to walk you through that process and help you really learn and explore what is needed in order to buy a home. Because as a buyer right now, you haven't had a better time to buy a home in the last couple of years than right now because you have 1,400 homes to choose from. Obviously, that's not all in your price point, 1,400 homes, but that means there are more out there. And because of that competition, sellers are having to be a little more competitive as well. So things are getting to be a little more fair. You can ask for inspection stuff. You don't have to waive everything. Maybe you even get a discount on the purchase price, or you can also get closing costs. Maybe the seller's offering to pay some closing costs and things like that. So it all just depends on the negotiations of your agent and what the market is doing around that specific property that you're looking at in order to kind of win the day, because you're likely not going to be competing against very many people, if people at all. So that's really fantastic if you're a buyer, especially a first timer, because there are a lot more options that are 400 and under, or just right around that early 400 number than we've seen in a very long time, which is quite a relief. That's basically all I have for you this week. Next week, we'll go into that deep dive. Like I said, if you're thinking about buying and selling in the near future, or you're just trying to figure out how what's going on in the market affects you and your specific situation, just reach out to me. I'm always happy to give all of the information that I have so that you can make an informed decision for you and your family, because that's what these numbers are for. Any questions on anything I covered, feel free to reach out as well. My number is 208-914-1095. And if you're looking to schedule an actual consultation with me, it's free. There's no obligation. You can also do that online. I have a link to that in the description below, where you can go to my website and schedule a time with me right on my calendar. Again, any questions, just reach out, let me know. I hope everyone has a great weekend and a happy Independence Day on Monday.